Hello students, I hope you all are doing fine and having a great time. Uh, Today I am going to start with a new topic that is called as trade, and I'm covering this topic from your Maharashtra State Board, and this topic is also very similar to business studies from the ICSE board, right? So I'm referring to this book. Yes, I'm referring to this book, and I have tried to cover details from this book itself. Let us start with the discussion on this topic. I will share the screen with you all. Please pay attention. One moment for the PPT to start. Yes. So again, this is chapter number 2, and the name of the chapter is trade. So, students, what do you see in this picture? I'll try and explain. Can you see the middle stick saying it's a trading post? That is where the trading activities will take place. Now, trading activity. But what do you mean by trade? Let us understand step by step. Now, see a man on the left hand side. He is standing and he is holding a board saying wheat for trade. Yes, it says wheat for trade. What do you mean by this? Yes. So have you anytime heard about the concept of barter trade? Yes. What happens in barter trade is one thing or one commodity, I can say, or one goods is exchanged for another good. Okay. So let's take an example here. See, I am a dealer of wheat, or I have a surplus wheat. Okay. And my friend has got, say, cattle. Okay. So now I have surplus wheat. I have consumed or I have set aside my share, and the wheat that is lying extra with me, what do I do with it? So I might as well exchange it with something and buy something so that I can use it later. So what I do is I will give my wheat in exchange of that cattle. So what will happen? I have wheat with me. If I take cattle, I can also get milk, right? So if I get milk, then I don't have to buy it from the market. So this was the kind of exchange that used to happen before, earlier, okay, when there was no money introduced in the system. The second man in the picture says, you can see a horse and he is holding a board saying coins only. What does that mean is that he is ready to exchange this horse in exchange of coins, or I can put it in the simple words as money, right? So this man has come into the picture when money was introduced in the economy, right? Earlier, there was barter exchange where a commodity was exchanged in exchange of another commodity, where both the both the parties had different necessaries or necessities, right? The different requirements. See, I had requirement for milk, so I exchanged my wheat with cattle, and he had cattle, but he didn't have wheat. So he exchanged his cattle with wheat, right? Similarly, this man has got horse, but he didn't have money. So he said, I am ready to give you my horse. In return, you give me money. So what has happened? There was an exchange. Or to simply put in a very clear way, when I exchange something for money, I am buying it, right? So whenever you're buying goods and services, okay? So whenever you're buying goods and services, okay? Now in a business, it is very simple. Why do you do a business? Why would anybody do a business? Say, I had wheat, right? Initially, I said I have wheat with me. So now, if I have wheat, I have set aside the quantity that is required by me during the year, and then there is a surplus quantity which I don't require, right? So what would I do with that? I might as well go and sell it in the market so that I can earn little money on it, right? So if I'm doing any kind of business, say if I want to sell that wheat, now to grow that wheat, I had incurred an expense of rupees 100, right? But now if I'm selling it at 100, what is the use to me? I will not be in a position to buy on any other things, right? Because whatever I had invested, I just got that much. But say for an example, if I have invested rupees 100 and if I'm selling the wheat for rupees 150, that is 150, so what will happen? I will have a profit of rupees 50, right? So understand it very clearly that any business you do this business to earn profit. So whenever you're buying of goods and services with an objective to earn profit, that is simply called as trade, right? So if I want to simply put a meaning of trade to anybody, if anybody asks me what is trade or what do you mean by trade, I will say it's buying of goods and services with an objective to earn profit. Buying or selling, sorry, it should come as buying and selling of goods and services with an objective to earn profit or money. Now, the next topic that follows is the types of trade. Okay, so when I say trade, now understand a simple example. We all know that we are geographically divided, right? Various regions are climatically good for certain types of crops or certain types of commodities, right? So, for example, if I say Mahabaleshwar has a good favorable climate for strawberries, so therefore you have this Mapro strawberry syrups and strawberry jams and various other fruits that are grown in Mahabaleshwar, right? So, and I am in Mumbai, right? So now if I want to consume strawberries in Mumbai, I cannot grow strawberries in Mumbai because the climate of Mumbai is not very favorable for the growth of strawberries. So what do? I call a dealer of strawberries in Mahabaleshwar and I asked him to send me the strawberries, right? Now he is the dealer, he will say, I don't send it for free. So you send me the money, I send you the strawberries, right? That is what is the definition and meaning of trade. That I'm buying or selling goods and services with an objective to earn profit or money. So when I am in Mumbai, I am buying strawberries from Mahabaleshwar. That becomes my trade within the same country, right? So when the trade happens within the same country, it is called as internal trade because it is within the same country, within the boundaries of the same country. Say a person from Kashmir has called for apples from Kashmir in say south, say Kerala, right? So Kerala and Kashmir are in the same country. So this will become my internal trade within the same country. Next is when I call for Apple mobiles, right? Apple mobiles, say from USA. I want to buy an Apple mobile from USA. What will happen? I am in India and I am buying a phone that is manufactured in USA, and the person in USA is selling his brand to me in India. So there is a trade happening, a buying and selling of goods and services happening here, but it is not between the same boundary. It is between the two different countries. Understand? It is between two different countries. So this type of trade is called as external trade. What is it called? It is called as external trade. What do you mean by internal trade? That is the trade which takes place within the same country, like within India itself is internal, and there is another type of trade that is external trade which takes place between two or more countries, right? Two or more countries. So say I buy from USA, I sell to Japan. Okay, that can be one kind of external trade, or I buy from USA and I sell to USA. Like that is, I import from USA, I export to USA. That is also one kind of external trade. Now let us move on to the types in internal trade. Right? As you can see, internal trade is again divided into two types. The first type, let us touch upon the first type. What do you mean by first type? Okay, the first type mentioned is wholesale. What do you mean by wholesale? Wholesale means large quantity. So now whenever you deal with this word wholesale, you have to understand that I am talking about large quantity, something that is in bulk. Okay, I'm dealing with quantities that is in bulk or in large quantities. I'm talking about large quantities. So whenever I talk wholesale, I'm talking about large quantities. Right. So let's move on. Then come the next type of trade in internal itself, that is retail. What do you mean by retail trade is? Retail means small quantity. Small quantity. जैसे आप और हम buy करते हैं, right? You and I buy. Say I buy 5 kgs of rice in a month, or I buy say 2 kgs of dal, or I buy one toothpaste pack, or I can buy, or say I buy say a pair of jeans, like that. Okay, so whatever I buy as an individual, I buy it in a small quantity. So that is my retail trade. Okay. Third is there are three types in the external trade. So just now we saw about internal trade. Internal trade is divided into two, that is wholesale and retail. Now let's come to external trade. External trade is again divided into three parts, that is import. Now you all know what is import, right? Just I said that I am buying, being in India, I am buying a mobile that is manufactured, say, in USA. Then, if I'm calling something from another country into my country, that becomes an import. That becomes import, right? And if vice versa, say, I am good in spice, like India, India is very good in spice production. So say I am exporting spice or I'm selling spice to USA, then what happens? The goods or the spices from India are sold in USA, that becomes my export. That becomes export. And then there is third type, that is entry point. That is entry point, right? So what happens here is, say I have bought a material or commodity from Hong Kong. Okay. Say that commodity is kind of a raw material which I require to make my finished product. Right? I am in India. I buy materials or commodities from Hong Kong to make my finished product. And then after this finished product is ready, I sell this finished product to Nepal. That is a different country, right? So I bought from one country and I'm selling it to another country. So that becomes entry point. You buy from one country and you sell to another country, that becomes an entry point, right? Now let us look at wholesale trade in detail. What can you see in this picture? Let me explain. Can you see that they are dealing with large quantities? Now, in the previous slide, we just discussed that large quantities. Whenever we listen to this word wholesale, we will be now thinking about large quantity, right? Here, second. So, can you see the cloths? But how are they in large quantities again? Yes, see, the plastic shop. But the plastic shop is, the plastic he is selling is in large quantities. And can you read this? See, can you read this? They are saying that they are the wholesale dealers in quality plastic. They are the wholesale dealers. So whatever they are dealing in, that is the plastics, they are buying it in large quantities, right? And see this, the last picture. Again, you can see like many, so they must have bought it in real large quantities. Therefore, what if we said wholesale trade? Let us understand few very important points of wholesale trade. So when I talk about wholesale trade, I must understand that these goods are purchased in large quantities from the manufacturer or the producer for the purpose of resale to retailers. Now, very important, understand. See, I am a producer and I am in Mumbai, right? So if I'm producing something in Mumbai, it is not necessary that things are consumed also in Mumbai. Yes, my consumers or the products which I am dealing in can be also consumed in Jaipur, in Delhi, in Madras, in Chennai, right? So my consumers are everywhere, but I am producing it from Mumbai. So now how do I send my product till my consumer? I don't know my consumers. So who will help me to find my consumers? So to understand that, we have the channel of distribution. Okay, understand. There is a channel of distribution or the logistics as we term it. Now what do this logistic deals in? See, I'm the producer. So producer. Then somebody will buy from me, right? So that somebody is the wholesaler. Okay. This wholesaler will buy to sell it to the retailer, and the retailer will in exchange sell it to the consumer. So that's a channel, right? That's a channel. Now say I want to send, say I want to buy from Jaipur. I am a bedsheet dealer in Mumbai, but I am a small dealer in Mumbai, a retail dealer. So if I want to deal in bed sheets, I don't know who the producer is in Jaipur. So I will get into touch with somebody who does deal in the bed sheet business, right? So in this context, who will help me? The wholesaler will help. So whenever we are talking about wholesale trade, we need to understand that the goods are purchased in large quantity. Okay. Now what happens here is this wholesaler, okay, the person who buys goods on large quantities is known as the wholesaler. So this wholesaler will buy from the manufacturer or the producer, right? The wholesaler will buy goods from the manufacturer or the wholesaler, and in turn he will sell it to the retailer. Understand for now that there is a chain of distribution, right? Your business doesn't happen like from the from producer to the consumer. See, I produce and I don't consume it. My consumers are different. So to reach my consumers, I have a designated channel, right? So I have to pass through that channel itself. So the first chain in this channel is the wholesaler. So if I'm the producer, I will be selling it to the wholesaler, or I can say the wholesaler will be buying it from the producer or me. And in turn, now he buys in the large quantity, right? And retailer का एक simple example अगर आप सबको दूं, अगर आप नहीं समझ रहे हो तो I can say that retailer is nothing but your kirane wala. Have you seen kirane walas in your store, in your neighborhood, right? So they deal in quantities, but they deal in small quantities. Say suppose if I say if the wholesaler has taken 500 kgs of rice, then this kirane wala will purchase, or the retailer will purchase, say 50 kgs of rice from that wholesaler, okay, to resell it. So wholesaler buys the quantity to resell it to the retailer. The retailer will sell it to the final consumer. Okay. So I can say that a person who is engaged in wholesale trade is also known as the wholesaler. Wholesaler is a buyer as well as a seller. So why do I say that a wholesaler is a buyer as well as a seller? That is because, say, if I'm the wholesaler, I am buying my quantities or the commodities from the manufacturer, and I am selling my quantities or the commodities to the retailer. So I am buying from the producer, I'm selling it to the retailer, right? So I'm a buyer as well as a seller. Then wholesaler deals in either one or few types of goods. Now, when I'm buying it in a large quantity, understand, I already have large quantity of something. So why would I deal with lot of other things, right? So why would I just stop everything? So why not I deal with only one particular type so that I have a complete monopoly about it? Yes, I know I have a complete information, complete control over that commodity only, right? So this wholesaler, generally you will see that as we saw in the picture, that the plastic seller, he had only things made up of plastics, right? He didn't have steel in it, or he didn't have aluminum stuffs in it. So he was only dealing with the plastic, right? Similarly, the cloth, we did not see any other material there. We did not see plastic there, or we did not see any steel or any other material there. It was only clothes or cloth, right? So they deal with only one or few types of goods. Then the amount that the capital is required in this business is large because I'm buying it in the large quantities. So my spending will be large. So the amount of capital that I require with me is large, right? And the wholesaler maintains stability and balance between demand and supply. Say why? Is because I buy it in the large quantities, right? So I have my warehouses, say umbrellas. Umbrellas are produced during the year but are only required during the rainy season, right? So ऐसे तो नहीं होएगा ना कि रेनी सीजन जून में आता है तो मई में सप्लाई प्रोडक्शन चालू किया. That doesn't happen. The supply is year round, right? The production starts year round. But what happens is you don't get umbrellas during December. they only come into the market, say towards end May or early week of June, when the monsoon is just about to hit the country, right? So this wholesaler will buy from the producer, say somewhere in the month of January, and they will stock it in their warehouses. And whenever they have a requirement for these umbrellas from the retailers, okay, they will then send small quantities to these retailers. Say if I am stocking 1,000 umbrellas with me, I will say send 200 umbrellas in the month of June to these retailers. So what I do, I balance the supply and demand. I just don't send 1,000 umbrellas ek baar karke khatam. No, I see what is my demand in the month of June. Then I will see what is my demand is in the month of July, then August, then September, and accordingly I will sell it to the retailers. Then lastly, what we need to remember is that the wholesale performs the marketing functions like assembling, warehousing, transporting, advertising, and financing. Right? So assembling is you assemble the product at one place. Warehousing is the storage facility that I have with me. Transporting is like I need to pick up my commodity from the producer. So I will arrange for my own transport as a manufacturer. Advertising is I'm promoting the product. I am giving advertisements or I'm giving information about the product to the retailers, and I'm promoting the product. And financing is I give like advance to the producer to produce the product, or I give credit facilities to the retailer so that they can sell well and then return me my money. So I'm also doing a lot of other functions. So this can be seen in our next slide, that is through my services to manufacturer or the services to the retailer. So this can be also one of the questions in your examinations. So understand, I have only given you the common points that you can remember. So when I say services to the manufacturer is large purchase, we now know that wholesaler means I'm going to purchase quantities in large numbers. Storage, that is, I'm going to have a warehouse of my own where I can store the product and give it as per the demand. Risk bearing is, say when I'm storing it in the godown, I'm also bearing risk. Say if if it rains, and the entire product gets spoiled, then I take care of that spoilage. Then market information, I give various market information to the manufacturer. Say why this product is doing good, why this product is not doing good, what are the requirements of the product, what do they need to improve in the product. I also give financial assistance to the manufacturer, the producers, like I give them say 50% advance to take care of their working capital and their production. Similarly, I offer services to the retailers where I stock goods and then give them and regularize the supply where the supply is as per the demand from the consumers. I bear risk because in case the product does not do well in the market and I'm not able to recover the money, I am bearing that as well. Secondly, the market information. Again, the I'm doing advertisements. I'm taking up promotions. So in such situations, I'm also dealing with market information to the retailers. And financial assistance is like I give credit facilities to my retailers where they can sell first a product, and whatever they realize, then they can give it to. All these points are mentioned in your textbook. Go back, read the textbooks. Today we have covered what is the meaning of trade, what are the types of trade. In the types of trade, today we have seen internal and external. Into that also we have focused more on the internal trade today. And internal trade, we have taken the first part today, that is the wholesale trade. So we have discussed some of the very important points of this wholesale trade that can be your features of the wholesale trade, and also services offered to manufacturers and retailers. Go back, read your textbooks, understand the point. If you don't remember or if you find anything difficult, please do come back, and I am always there to help you and explain. Thank you so much. I'm ending this meeting now.